Welcome everyone into today's weekly session on trade recaps. In this class, I will talk about what trades I took last week and what was my reasoning behind it. If it was a day trade, swing trades, what are the things that I looked at before getting into a trade, and then how I measured my targets, where I took my exits and all that stuff. So without wasting any time, let's get right into it. So, guys, the first trade I took, it was a Cisco swing trade. As I already discussed last Friday that why I took that trade, but this Tuesday it really starting to work out. Without any drawdown. The setup was pretty simple on this one. Um, mm, Wait a sec. Yes. So I saw it's price rejecting this prior highs. I thought it could there are chances that it could be a double top, but when I looked at the volume, it was a decent. It's a huge spike in the volume on Friday close, and then I decided to swing it because the thing is, guys, I do not care. What happens to the volume. As price is moving up or moving down. You know. Only time I care about the volume is, when I see volume spike right into the resistance or into the support like here. See, there's a huge volume spike right into this prior demand zone, and we saw a huge volume spike, and then price ripped higher. Same thing, happened here. Price met resistance, even though it was a really small candle, but there was a lot of volume that showed me that institution unloaded this stock at the resistance after this nice run. So it's time for some of the replacement. Um, and then without any second thought, I allotted the a month out, 40 days out, um, put contracts, really add the money. Price was 52, so they were really cheap, 40 cents a piece with a really nice delta on it too. And then I just decided to swing it over the weekend, and then and I got the confirmation on Tuesday that we're gonna go even more lower. Um, that that was the prior high. We got the retest. We got faked out retest in the same candle and went lower and gap down the next day. That was just cherry on top. The gap down with the bearish engulfing, and that showed me that it has pressure to go down to my target, which is this demand zone. I'm still holding my half size. I scaled out a half size on Friday. I'm holding half size. This is my demand zone. I have this is where you can see a bounce of the zone, and where I will scale most of my position. I'll just leave with the runners here, right? So this was a trade just all based on a weekly on a daily time frame, right? So the next trade that I took, it was Love Airlines. This was also a swing that I took. It was mainly of this divergence that I have, and the price was at near the highs, this prior resistance right here. And then I expected to reject because the whole market was looking weak, and this was a sector that holding up well. And then we had this negative divergence in play right here, and then I decided to swing, one third, or I think half size puts on this one right here before closing, and then it was just a kind of slow mover, and then instantly dumped down hard. And then while I was there doing intraday trading, and then I saw this setup. This was the prior high. Price closed above this prior highs, faked out, retested it. This is I was pretty sure at these levels that there are high chances we can see this prior swing close there. This was my target, and then that's what happened. We instantly got a huge dump in three candles. Price tagged my zone, and then bounced to right after it. Our puts printed 65% on it. Really basic fake out retest setup with a negative divergence in play. And then there's the Q trade. This trade I actually wanted to get in, a little bit early, but I missed the trade. Then I waited for a small retracement to the magnets. Then I got into the Q puts. The setup was with this one is this was a prior day lows. Prior day lows broke down, yeah, and then it got a retest on that. After gapping down, retesting this prior day lows, it retested it. I wanted to add here, but I missed my entry. And the next candle, I got the confirmation again that there are chances that we can see new lows or at least test these lows or these prior lows. This was a prior swing lows. Let's say move higher, move lower, and move higher again. Right. So this was my target on this one, and then the entry was on the magnets right here. Candle closed below, and then I got an entry on my on the magnet retest, alerted it. Q's puts, I bought a little bit of time because I don't want to get into a zero dates, and then if price goes sideways, then we were gonna get uh, a chop in, and then the premium's gonna get burned on our contract. So I did not play the zero dates, but price instantly dumped to the support, and then our puts went 65%. Really good trade. The next one is Tesla, which is actually it was actually L trade. The reason was for I jumped in I jumped in real quick on this one without wait for the structure to change. So what happened is I was waiting for this bear flag to break down, um, but that really did not happen. And then it was also a golden zone, and then price just ripped through it, and then I closed my puts at a minus 30%. That was the only yell that we had this whole week. So what I should have done, instead of and jumping into the shorts, is now if you see price was constantly making this higher lows here, higher lows price is making. If I wanted to add puts, I should have wait a little bit more, wait for price to break this prior lows, and then on that pump, which we were gonna short it, but that never happened, or I was not patient enough to get into a trade, and then we paid the price with a minus 30% trade. Mm, and then this is the MU a day trade that we got. It was a pretty simple trade. The reasoning for it was a lagging name compared to the other semis name. All the semis names were already broke the prior lows, and the MU did not break that. And then I saw MU, it rejected this golden ratio, close below this prior lows here, prior intraday lows, and better flag breakdown, retested it. This is where I added the puts allotted on live at 7 a.m. And then my target was this gap fill, and then we got the gap fill, and then puts went 100%. In like what, in 1 hour, and prices bounced right off of my support. We logged 100%, and we were out. Just a clear setup, better like breakdown, retest. The AMD, um, AMD was kind of the same setup as MU. And it has a breakdown of the bear flag, but I really got my entry on 1 minute. The reason was this double top on 1 minute right here. Price is going down, and then I saw prices making this double top. Plus making this double top, this is where I got my entry with a very tight stop loss, and the price jumped instantly to this prior support that I had right here, prior support, and then price bounced right off of it. Our puts went 75%, and then I closed my runners at 15 or 20%, I believe. And we had Moderna. So the reason I added Moderna, two layers of puts, because it was a very high confirmation trade for me. The first one was it was a bear flag breakdown. I alerted to you guys in the premium room that I'm adding at 12:20. I'm adding on the retest, and then by close of our puts were already up 50%, and by the close, when I looked left, there was a huge gap to fill, and then there were high chances we were going prices closing week, and we have a huge gap to fill, and every single time frame is in bearish, so there are high chances that will be just instantly dump, fill the gap, and then push higher. And that's what exactly happened. Price moved lower, and we hit two baggers on our first layer, and we hit one bagger on our second layer that we added somewhere around here near the close. Nike, guys, Nike. This was one of the best trades, probably for the week, because it printed 500% in literally 5 minutes. So the reasoning was simple, pretty simple, to be honest. Because if you look at, guys, the daily time frame, all the daily time frame, are yeah, are under the magnets, and weekly time frames are bearish. And then now and then we get, after this huge move down, what do we get? We get this bear flag. And then, right before close, what do they do? They break down the bear flag, and also break the prior, swing prices, making this higher lows here. And then, what they do, just before closing, they change the structure of it, price making lower highs, and then made a new low. So lower lows on the price, therefore that was a clear entry for me. I got Nike puts at 43 cents. They opened at 500%. I had good amount of contracts. My target was actually 106.80, but prices, when price, gaps down, they saw you don't want to hold for long, because then the magnets are far away up here. Price is gonna, touch the magnets, eventually in the time frame, and then they're gonna reject again. Right? Let's see what happened on intraday time frame. Yes, again, what happened? Price went to the magnets, and then, just we started curling back up, and then we dumped again. So I think there are more new lows coming on Nike, but we'll see. I need one more day of data to get another trade on it. Lucid, this was another swing that I took, guys. If you look at the daily time frame, it's just bleeding hard, right? Just bleeding hard. Just you know, this bear flag breakdown, or this huge daily range broke down, or this prior lows breakdown. So that means, there are high chances we're going to see a continuous dump on this name. And we already had, 1 day down on this one. So if you go to 15 minutes, and then there was a, back to back bear flags breakdown were happening right here, one here, and then the third one was happening right here. And then it price closed below it, and then I took my entry at 31 cent a piece, nearly in the money puts already. So I also got some heavy size in this one, even though it was a 1 day expiry. The reason was, first of all, the price, the closed below the prior lows, price closed weak on a bearish engulfing. And second, it was in the money put. So even if my, started to went up, I only would have lost like minus 20 to 40% max on my contracts. So I decided to go ahead in these ones, even though it was a lower trade because of Friday expiry. And then, we got an instant dump of open, back to back in 15 for 1 hour. Our puts went 70%. Cannot complain. And then, closed right here at 70% for million seed puts. And then the Marvel trade, this trade took time to dump, only because, a SPY was moving up, and it broke this big level, the prior lows, and it was in this huge gap, that the earnings gap that we had. If you look at 4 hour, we have this huge earning gaps to fill. I expected it to fill some of it on Friday, and then, that's what it did. Uh, got my entry at 840 at 24 cent a piece, and then average down a little on this one. Got my entry down to 21 cents in somewhere around here, and then, instantly dump to the support that I had, and the puts went 140%. Again, guys, the reason the prior it broke the prior lows, bearish candle, and then 15 minutes, all bearish, and then was making this bear flag. So I held on to it, and then once 15-minute candle stacked, the magnet stacked, and then saw instant dump on it, and the puts went in 140%. Right. There was another trade that I took on Qs, which went, which went 400% actually, right here. I saw, this was a prior, this was a prior lows here. Price is moving higher right here, you know, and this is a prior support, becoming resistance. I saw it started rejecting this one, it breaking into it, and I was expecting this, wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, something like this. And then, so I was like, I'm just gonna add, for a wave 4, dump. I've got, a scalp on this one. But it when it started rejecting this one, then it broke down this intraday trend, It broke down this. It's smaller time frames, much better. Broke down intraday time frame, so held on to my puts, and then instantly dumped here, and then I was holding on to my runners. I did not expect price to dump this hard, and then it dumped all the way down to this intraday demand here, and then we got a small bounce, and and ended the day, right, it's the weekend of the day, and our puts went 400% entry right here. Share the update with you guys in the intraday updates channel. So again, guys, that's it, guys. For on my side for the trade recaps, I will do another session on the live watch list tomorrow morning. Until then, have a good day, enjoy your day. If you guys have any questions on these ones, DM me or ask in the chat or ask in the live. I'll be happy to answer all of them. All right, enjoy your day, guys. I'll catch you guys in the live trading.